In Michigan, if you are arrested with a gun and you committed a felony, you must serve 2 years in prison, not county jail. You must go to prison for 2 years. If you have more than one case, you have to do the first 2 years on the gun, and then you do more time on whatever case there is, 2 years plus something. If you only go to jail on the felony firearm alone, you might be eligible for early release because of the overcrowding situation. So you'll see somebody plead guilty to felony firearm and being sentenced, and they have to get 2 years by statute. They have no choice. Even the great Judge Braxton has to give the person 2 years in prison, even though she doesn't want to. The only way you can avoid that is if you're between the ages of 17 and 20 and you're given an opportunity for the Holmes Youthful Trainee Act, which is for first-time offenders only.
Your Honor, for the record, Richard Cummings on behalf of Mr. Elliott.
Is it Gregory Elliott?
Oh, yes, Your Honor.
All right.
I believe that today is the day and time for the arraignment, and Mr. Elliott will wait for a reading of the charges and stand here.
All right. The court will enter pleas of not guilty on his behalf. In the office, Mr. Muhammad.
Your Honor, I believe we're here to, I believe we have a settlement offer here.
All right. Are you withdrawing the plea of not guilty, Mr. Cummings, on your client's behalf?
Yes, Your Honor.
May I question your client regarding his rights as well as his pleas?
Certainly, Your Honor.
Sir, would you raise your right hand and be sworn, please?
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in the matter now pleaded before the court can hold truth so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
Your name, sir?
Gregory Elliott,
How old are you?
24.
Who do you live with?
My girl,
How far did you go in school?
12th grade.
Did you graduate?
No, ma'am.
Have a GED?
No, ma'am.
Were you employed?
Landscape, that's all.
Have you any alcohol, drug, or gambling problem?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Elliott, did you have an opportunity to look at this advice and rights form?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you read the constitutional rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand them?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you also read the appeal rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand those?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Elliott, is that your signature at the bottom of the advice or rights form?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, do you understand that by offering or tendering a plea of guilty, you are, in effect, waiving or giving up all of these rights? Do you know that?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing and understanding that, Mr. Elliott, is it your desire to waive these rights and plead guilty?
Yes, ma'am.
Has anyone, Mr. Elliott, threatened you to get you to plead to the 2-year mandatory sentence of felony firearm?
No, ma'am.
Is this a sentence agreement, Mr. Mahal?
Yes, Your Honor. There is a sentence agreement. Would you like me to read it for the record?
Yes. I'll make an X in the box there.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor. On case 09-24625, the defendant will plead guilty to count 2. I believe that's count 2, Your Honor. You can change that as well. Count 2, felony firearm. And the people will dismiss count 1, as well as case number 09-24623. And there is a sentence agreement of 2 years in the Michigan Department of Corrections.
All right, Mr. Elliott, have there been any other promises or agreements made to get you to plead, other than what's been spoken on this record this morning?
No, ma'am.
All right, please listen to Mr. Mahalik. He'll ask you about your plea.
Mr. Elliott, on 6/10/2009, were you at 12335 Moraine Drive, M-O-R-A-N-G, Apartment 8, Detroit, Michigan?
Yes, sir.
At that place and at that time, did you have contact with the police?
Yes, sir.
And did you have a gun on you? A rifle?
It wasn't on me.
Did you have it within your possession or control?
No, sir.
Where was it, sir?
It was in the
In where?
in the closet.
Did you have access to it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and at that place at that time, were you Were you attempting some cocaine?
Yes, sir.
Did you or could you use the gun for your protection?
No.
If necessary?
No, sir.
Why couldn't you?
Just had it just for show and tell. That's
Show and tell. I don't know what that means.
like sell.
I don't know, let's blind draw.
I was gonna sell a gun. That's,
Selling what?
sell a gun.
I'm sorry?
I was gonna sell the gun.
Or you were going to sell the gun?
Yes, ma'am.
Whose house was this, Mr. Mahalik?
I believe it was a suspect. Was it your apartment? Was this your apartment you were in?
Yes, sir.
Suspect's apartment. Okay.
And, were you selling, what were you doing at that time? Did the police come into your apartment?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and, when they came in, what did they do?
They took the evidence,
What evidence?
the drugs and the gun,
What drugs?
cocaine.
Was there anyone in there with you at the time the police came in?
Yes, ma'am.
Who?
My girl. My girl.
This girl.
Was there also a minor child in the residence?
Wait, hold it. We'll strike that. I don't think we have the basis for a plea of a felony firearm. Let us blind draw it. You can go to trial.
Excuse me, I don't wanna go to trial.
Well, listen, I'm not going to take a plea when you can't even make out the
I'm
central
making,
elements.
I'm sorry.
No, I don't want anything made up. This is your life. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, I know your position, but you're not in this. I have this between defendant, myself, defense counsel, and the prosecutor. This court does not have enough to accept a plea of guilty to felony firearm.
Your Honor, I haven't been allowed to question him. I would just ask, I'm aware of the law in terms of constructive possession of drugs and the gun, and I know what will happen when we go to trial. I know exactly what the trial attorney's gonna say, and the prosecuting attorney's gonna say, and that is that.
Well, do you know what the Court of Appeals would say when they get him, when he says, well, I didn't make a knowing and understanding plea? So let them say it at the trial court level, because what we have on this record will certainly be appealable and will be overturned. So let us blind draw.